Hi there, it's Mrs. Drake with the flute. We are going to be doing lesson 10. Lesson 10, everybody. Okay, and I hope you already warmed up on your 5-note scale. And for an extra warm-up, I'd like you to flip back to page 15 and let's do song 2. Everybody flip back to page 15 and let's take a look at song 2, the one that's called flexibility. And they're talking about the flexibility of your lips. This is supposed to be a lip exercise. Okay, so take a look at song 2, and we haven't used that first note very often. That is low E flat. So you put your fingers on regular E flat, but to make it come out low, you have to put your first finger down also and blow really gently. So everybody try a regular E flat, and then put down your first finger and blow gentle and see if you can get it to come out low. Try that. Please notice on the flexibility one that it ends on low E flat also. So the beginning is low E flat and the end is low E flat. And the distance between low E flat and high E flat is called an octave because there's 8 steps in between. So this song tends to work on octaves. If you look through it, you'll see it has a low F and then a high F, and then a low G and a high G. So this one works on the flexibility of your lips. So for the low note, you want to blow gently and kind of aim more downward. When you're going for the higher octave, you tighten your lips a little bit and blow a little bit more up to help that note sound pure. Okay, song number 2. Everybody warm up low E flat and then warm up high E flat. Song 2, flexibility. 1, 2, ready, go. It's actually kind of a challenging song to have that sound really beautiful. It really takes flexible lips. So work on that one, try to get that one smooth. Okay, everybody flip back to lesson 10. Okay, let's start with song number 1. Check the key signature of song 1 on lesson 10. B flats and E flats. The first note is low F. We just played a few low Fs in that song that we did for a warm-up. And it's called a pickup note. Look at lesson 10, song 1, and do you see how the first song is supposed to have 4 beats in every measure? It's supposed to have 4 beats in every measure, but the first measure only has 1 note. So they call it a pickup note, and it's commonly used. Many songs in music start with a pickup note. And the tradition is if it starts on an incomplete measure, the last measure is incomplete also. Notice the last measure only has 3 beats, but if you add the first measure to the last measure, it adds up to 4. So meaning if there was a repeat sign, it would flow perfectly, because sometimes there is. But anyway, so to lead off this song, I'm going to lead it off with 1, 2, 3, and then you hit the low F on beat 4 and then continue to move through the song. It's very common for songs to start on pickup notes. Okay, so song number 1, everybody warm up the first 2 notes, low F to B flat. Everybody warm that up? So we're going to do it at the speed. I'll lead it off with 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, if I go too fast for you, feel free to, for the first time through, just lay your flute on your shoulder and move your fingers with me. Or you can just turn off the video and just practice it on your own. But eventually, I hope you can get it up to the speed where you can play it with me. I'd like to skip number 2. I don't feel like it's well written. It's kind of confusing. So let's just skip number 2. Okay, everybody, jump to number 3. And this introduces a thing called slur. See the curvy line over the top of the notes? And by the way, sometimes they can go under the notes too. But it means you link them together in one breath. You link them together in one breath, if you can. If it is legal to break a slur, if you need to grab a breath, it is legal to grab a quick breath. But technically, you want to try to do it in one breath. So you flick your tongue on the first note of the slur, and then you just continue to blow, and you don't use your tongue. After the first note, you don't use your tongue. You just slur up the rest of them. So take a look at song 3. And you can see that the first slur is B flat, C, D, E flat. Hey, it's like a 4-note scale. So let me try it for you and see if you can hear this. So I'm going to flick my tongue on the B flat, and then I'm just going to move my fingers up to the other 4 notes. Listen to this. Could you hear how that was a slur? I only used my tongue on the first one. That's called a slur, and it's very commonly used. Okay, so on song 3, I'm going to do the slurs. If you have never played song 3 before, I highly recommend that the first times you play it is to play it without the slurs. The slurs add like icing on the cake. They make it a little more difficult. So if you think you're going to have finger fumble or trouble with the rhythm, I highly recommend playing the song without the slurs first. Get the song under control where you can play it comfortably, and then go back and play it with the slurs. So I'm going to do the slurs. If you want to play it without the slurs, of course you can also just lay your flute on your shoulder and just practice moving your fingers. But eventually I hope you can get it with the slurs. Also feel free to just listen to me play it, and so you can get used to how slurs sound. Okay, song number 3. I'm going to do slurs. Remember, for you it's optional. You don't have to do the slurs. Song 3, everybody warm up the first note. Song 3. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, song number 4. By the way, I hope you knew that that song used A natural. Song 4 also has low A natural. Remember, the finger position is 2 fingers here for low A natural. Okay? And feel free to draw a natural sign if you think you might accidentally mix it up with A flat. Okay, song number 4. Look to measure 7. On song number 4, look to measure 7, and you see that the E has a natural sign in front of it. It's called E natural. So far we've done lots and lots of E flats, but now you're going to finally learn how to play E natural. Okay, and it does explain it up on the very top of the page. It's similar to F. Put your fingers on F, but now add one more finger and it becomes E. E, or you could call it E natural. So everybody blow a F and then put down one more finger and try a E. Try that. See if you can get the F and the E. Okay. So on song number 4, in the 7th measure, right here, that one particular note, you've got to play E natural. So you might want to circle it, but they did put the natural sign to remind you. But you got to know your own brain. Do you think you remember how to do it? I hope you notice it. So that is E natural, just that one particular note. And they call it accidental because the key signature says to use E flat. So sometimes they're allowed to change it off of what the key signature says. And when they do that, it's called an accidental, even though they did it on purpose. So in measure 7, that E natural is considered an accidental. Okay, song number 4. Everybody warm up B flat. Song number 4. Ta, ta, ta. Song number 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, song number 5. No accidentals. Song number 5. A waltz for Grandpa. Okay, everybody warm up at F. Song 5 starts on F. Song number 5. Ready, get set, go. Okay, song number 6. This one is pretty challenging. Song 6 is pretty challenging. B flat and E flat key signature. But in the first measure, you see there's an A flat accidental. I want to remind you, A flat is with the pinky. A flat is with the pinky. Everybody try a high A flat. Okay. In measure 4, there's an E natural. And in measure 6, there's E natural. Now let me explain to you something about accidentals. And I might have explained it before, but I'll do it again. So see how in measure 6 there's F, E natural, F. That one is also E natural. If it's in the same measure and they mark the first one, they don't have to mark the other one because you're supposed to remember it. They like to save ink. In music, they always like to save ink. So that last note of measure 6 is also to be played as E natural because it's in the same measure as that other accidental. So there is a music rule. If there's an accidental, it carries to the end of the measure to save ink. Okay, song number 6 is kind of challenging. The first time through, you might just want to move your fingers and listen to me play it. But eventually, I hope you can play it with me. Everybody warm up song 6, F. Song 6. 1, 2, ready, go. Songs, whenever you need a breath, feel free to clip one of the notes a little bit short or leave one of the notes off altogether and just grab a quick breath. It's always okay. Okay, the one on the bottom, Big Ol' Bear. I want to remind you that every song on the bottom of every lesson, there's a recording that goes along with it with like background. It has trumpets and drums and different things in it that you might enjoy playing with. I sent it to you on the Google Classroom. So you might want to take a look at, and play Big Ol' Bear with the recording. First times through, I would recommend playing it without the slur, but then try to get yourself more comfortable. There's 4 different spots in this one where you're supposed to slur, okay? And there's some E naturals. Notice that there's some E naturals. In measure 9, there's an A flat, again with the pinky. The very first note is low F. Very first note is low F. And it is okay with me if you write the letter F above it. We don't use really low notes too often in the flute, so sometimes people don't read them as well. And it's okay with me if you write in 1 or 2 letters. So on that first note, if you think you're going to forget that that's an F, feel free to write the letter F there. Okay, there is a repeat sign. Notice that it doesn't go back to the very, very beginning. The pickup note is not part of the repeat. So this song, again, has a pickup note, meaning an incomplete measure. So I'm going to lead it off with 1, 2, 3, and you strike the low F on beat 4. Then you continue to play the song. Has first ending, second ending. Do the repeat. Okay, everybody, warm up low F. Then I'm going to lead it off with 1, 2, 3. Slurs are optional. If you feel like you can't handle the slurs, you can leave them off, but eventually try to get the slur. Okay, I'm going to lead it off with 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. was lesson 10.